Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this afternoon's spiritual wisdom. And I have with me the beautiful Elizabeth Eleanor, who is talking to us this afternoon on the topic of spiritual aspects of menopause. And we're answering the question or discussing the question, is menopause a spiritual journey? And so, Elizabeth, we're going to get you to have a little bit of a chat about that. Just for those of you who don't know Liz, she's as you can see there, her title, spiritual warrior. She's a spiritual mentor and healer, and somebody that I met many years ago through essential oils and the beautiful calming and spiritual aspects of the essential oils as well. So the spirituality aspect of healing has really connected us. And as menopause is a physical, emotional, probably intellectual, and a spiritual, there's elements of each to that whole transition, I thought it would be great to have a discussion, Liz. And my first question to you would be, where are you at in your journey, and how has the spiritual journey unfolded for you so far?
Great question. Thank you so much, Brenda. And I love chatting with you so well. We just connected spiritually straight away, right? As soon as we met. And so I've just literally turned 50 2 days ago.
And welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. Like I was reflecting on turning 40, and how 40 was a big deal for me and where I was at as well at the time, because, like I was separating from my husband, and,
wow.
It was a big thing. It was really big. And reflecting on that and turning 50, I put a post up about I'm in my halfway point on the earth, and and all the things that I've been doing since, so far. And for me, I would say I'm just looking at starting menopause, I would say, because I have had some disruptions to my cycle only just recently. So the last couple of months, I would say, is it okay to say that I just had a brain tumor removed, right? And so,
Trigger alert.
Hey, what was that?
Trigger alert.
Yeah, trigger alert. Yeah, that's right. And so that was only maybe about 8 months ago. And I know that my cycle has been a little bit funny just before that, like maybe missing one, and then, I'd be regular again and missing one. So I'd say in the last maybe 12 months, I've noticed, a disruption sort of thing. And I'm late at the moment about, 20 days or something. So I'm now, and I've, you and I got together to talk about all of this. And I love the way you work when it comes to menopause, and because you work on so many different layers and levels, and that beautiful shift that I had with my mum through the process of you just being present with me. And so for me, I'd say I'm just starting perimenopause. Is that what they call it?
No, well, you would have been in perimenopause for at least 2 years.
Okay, yeah.
And you're just about to hit, well, menopause is officially the 1 year after your last period. So,
okay.
That when, and that's, how do you know it's your last period, right?
Yeah.
But that you're still in perimenopause really up until that point.
Yeah.
And then if that is the last period, then you're moving into postmenopause. So you're in perimenopause, but would have been for 2 to 5 years or something already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because it's not just a cycle, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, other than my cycle, I haven't really noticed anything.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose maybe hormonally, I would say that I get teary a little bit more than, when I know, it's coming up to my cycle or something. But other than that, I haven't really noticed anything physically. So,
Mm,
and I
mm,
put that down to that connection with spirituality.
yeah.
I also put that down to not allowing chemicals in my body as much as possible. So,
Right.
I've lived with, I've never really used tampons. I've always allowed blood to just flow.
Yeah.
And I've used material pads, not
Mm,
store-bought pads,
yeah.
so that I don't have any chemicals. And, you can get, and if I do have to use store-bought, I always make sure I get organic so that I'm not
Yeah.
using any chemicals up against that delicate skin.
Well, that's another topic thank you for reminding me, but hormone disrupting chemicals is another fabulous
Oh,
topic for us to discuss in this
absolutely.
forum.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recently told a girlfriend, because, you don't think about it, when it's something that you've been doing forever, you don't
Mm,
realize that other people, and a girlfriend of mine gets really bad cramps and da da da, and something that she said, I went, oh, do you not wear normal pads or normal tampons? And I said, go and get organic ones instead. And since then, she hasn't had cramping or
wow.
just like stop straight away.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important for women, especially younger generation, because it can disrupt
Yeah.
fertility and all sorts of stuff. So,
Yeah. And
but
they've got
yeah,
so many.
hey,
Well, these days we've got so many others in the environment as well. So it's,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it
Keep
is.
going. Keep going. Your story's amazing.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that I feel like, um, my spiritual process has been a really, really important aspect to this, like the whole journey, right? Because um, I actually remember, being a spiritual energy healer. I'm sensitive to energies, and I specifically remember, I was at a wedding, and it was someone getting married for the second time, and she was pregnant, and I had my womb sort of tell me or ask me, are you, do you want to have another child? Like,
Mm.
like I had this moment of, like, am I going to have another child? And, like, what would how would that feel? And blah, blah, blah. And it kept on coming every so often, this feeling of, and it took me a while. Oh, my womb's asking me, like this, like that's,
Yeah.
oh, that's what's going on, And
Yeah.
then I remember specifically when I went, no, 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 I'm not going to do that. And this, like, it physically retracted, and I'm like, whoa, I haven't got time for you to muck around at the moment.
Wow.
I'll just keep my,
Yeah.
keep that as a question mark. And it eventually, sort of floated away, that sort of whole feeling. But afterwards I reflected and thought, I bet that is actually the very start of spiritual menopause.
Right. How old were you at the time?
I was in my I was 40 something.
Wow.
Yeah, and I reckon it was actually my womb telling me, this
Mm.
is your last chance.
Oh, yeah. That
And
makes so
so,
much sense.
yeah. And it's like, are we going to start clicking over, or do you want to hold off, And
Wow.
it was really, really interesting, and it was a moment of time of being able to reflect on what my womb had offered me and had
Mm.
already given me. And I've been through a 15 centimeter fibroid too, that I was able to release, which we'll do another time as well. But that reflection of everything, that, like, that honoring of
Yeah.
the creative aspect of us as a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, again, that part, that ceremonial, even though it was all in my head, and that clearing and releasing and honoring was part of the process of transitioning into this, the wisdom of the elder, like I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it.
It's definitely available to us, but it reminds me, I connect with a few women in the US who haven't, once I decided to get into this menopause, women's wisdom and spirituality area, I discovered all these things around the world that were going on about this stuff. And there's one particular lady that teaches womb wisdom and all of that stuff. And I really wished I'd known about it way, way earlier.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of disconnection from our wombs because of the culture that we live in, and the invalidation of the feminine principle, I suppose you could call it that. And subsequently, health issues that occur in those parts of the body, the breasts and the uterus and
absolutely,
the cervix and so on.
Yeah, and disconnection between mother and daughter is a big part of that too. Like our society has really created this separation between like the feminine and the feminine. And
do you know about the heroine's journey?
No.
Oh, right. That's another conversation.
Oh man, we should. I'd love to keep chatting with you, because what I loved about coming, when I needed that support, I came and we worked together, was your ability to bring in, the intellectual medicine that you do. Is, are you naturopath? I don't even remember exactly what you are, but I know that you had, that side of alternative medicine that I needed, and the herbs that you gave me. So there was, that element of the natural essence of the earth, but you combined it with that feminine presence stuff that you do, that that releasing, like the releasing on a spiritual level combined with the physical stuff, really supported that transition for me, because I was going through a lot at the time, right? I was dealing with mother issues, and so mum had just had a heart attack, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was full on. And you just held that space for me, and that's what we need, is to have us women coming together with our different tools and with our different, abilities, and our nurturing and our, governance together. That's going to support us to transition the way we are innately meant to be, innately meant to progress in our life. Yeah.
Well, we're going to finish it up soon, because we've been on here almost 15 minutes, and we'll come back again, because this is a wonderful conversation. Welcome to your 50s.
Thank you.
Welcome to almost menopause.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I love that what you said about your spiritual connection has eased the process already to this point.
Yeah.
And what I can say is that there is there's more joy and power and adventure ahead that you are well set up for. So, it's really exciting.
I've heard that, right? I think you actually put that as a comment. I've commented in something here on this page and this group, and you said something that got me excited, because I know that our wisdom is supposed to open up and expand even more as we transition into this next stage. And so I'm excited about it, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
and taking the wisdom from women that have walked before me, like
Yeah.
that's what's exciting. There's I've got women like you in my life that are there to pave the way, so.
And vice versa. But you know what? I actually don't think I'm wise yet. I think that I'm on the way. I'm postmenopausal. But if you look at the crone cult, where the crone, was honoured,
Yeah.
It was really much later that real wisdom came in, as you can imagine, from living your life. And the 50s was wild. There's a wild aspect to it before you hit, or as you are evolving into wise. And, that's a very hot, flushes and heat and, productive.
I haven't had any of them yet, but I'm looking. Well, I don't know if I'm looking forward to hot flushes, but I'm definitely looking forward to the wildness. And and can I say that also as we progress through life, wisdom has got different perceptions and levels and gradients to it, right? So, like, do we ever come to a completion of it, and in saying that, the wise crone that we have perceived from history, would she see herself as completely wise either?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so many things. It reminds me of that quote, that funny meme that used to go around, and it was something like, growing old is mandatory, not mandatory, but, growing old isn't unavoidable, but growing up is optional.
Yes, yeah. So true. I actually remember, just to finish this, I remember the father of my kids. We were together for over 10 years, and I remember his mother ringing me up. So she would have been well in, maybe she was just starting in her 50s, and I remember her ringing me up and saying, I think I'm just starting to grow up. And I actually understand her now.
Yeah.
I was like, what was this? But yeah, I think I'm really starting to understand that now. So it's just starting, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah, and you're a spiritual mentor and healer. You've got your Facebook group, Women of Light. You're doing some amazing things. So the foundations of the wisdom are already there. So credit to you.
Thank you.
All right, well,
it's been lovely to be on. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see more of you, and see everyone next time. Thanks very much, everyone.
Take care.